Hi, my name's Sophie, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can build sign-up or pop-up forms in Bird. So the first thing you need to do is head over to sign-up forms on the sidebar, and this will show you all of the sign-up forms that you've already created, and you can see at a glance if they're active or if they're still in draft. We're going to create a new sign-up form, so I'm going to go ahead and click Create New Sign-up Form. Okay, first things first, give your sign-up form a recognizable name. We're going with homepage sign-up form, 10% off, because that's the kind of offer that we're going to be showing. Beneath that, you can choose the default language that you want your sign-up form to be displayed in. So this is the language that most visitors to your website or your Shopify store are going to speak. We'll go with English. And below that, you can choose whether or not you want this form to be displayed on an e-commerce website. So if you have Shopify, for example, you want it to be displayed on your website there, or on any other type of website. We're going to stick with e-commerce platform for now because we have a Shopify store all installed. So as you can see below that, Shopify store, and then you select the store that you want this to be displayed on from the drop-down list. If you've not got anything in your drop-down list, then you need to go back and install a Shopify store as an integration. So we're all set up and we're ready to start designing our form. Okay, as you can see over here on the right-hand side, we've got sort of a basic sign-up form already here. It's got some placeholder text for the title and for the subheading, and also for sort of the terms and conditions as well. So what we're going to want to start with is deciding how it's going to look on our page. So head on over to Styles. And then you've got all of these options for desktop display. So we can choose between having it across a full page, having it as a little modal like this, having it in the bottom left-hand corner. Basically decide where you want it to appear when viewers are looking at this form on desktop. We're going to stick with modal. So below that, you can choose whether or not you want the form to be displayed when customers are viewing your site on their mobiles. So you can have either as full screen or you can have it as completely hidden. We're going to stick with full screen. Now, the colors of the sign-up form aren't super interesting at the moment. So let's add a little bit of colors related to some branding to try and get it to feel a little bit more like it's part of our product. This is where you can choose your background color. So you can choose anything from this little sort of slider here. Nice pale blue. You can also use RGB, HSL, or hex codes to get it exactly on the colors of your branding. You can also optionally add a background image. So let's take a little look and see what that looks like. You can choose from a URL or you can upload an image. Okay, so here's what it looked like if I've added sort of a gradient image as the background for this. I think we're going to stick just with plain colors. So the next thing you can customize is the color of your title. And you can do the same for your paragraph color as well. Okay, so it's starting to come together a little bit more, but we're still missing some elements. So let's scroll up and head on back to see what else we can add. Now, targeting a behavior is a really important one. So the first thing that you can choose is the timing. So this specifies when exactly the form should be displayed to your visitors. As you can see from the drop-down, you have when the trigger button is pressed, immediately, or based on rules. So immediate means it'll show basically as soon as you want it to. And then when trigger button is pressed means that you'll use a little pop-up modal to click on it and the form will pop up. And then based on rules is where you can get a little bit more precise. So when a visitor is exiting a page is a great time to catch people with an additional offer. So maybe they've had a little look around, they're not really sure, they're thinking about going to visit one of your competitors, and you can just grab them and say, hey, if you sign up now, you'll get 20% off on your next order, for example. You can also choose how much time has passed. So after 30 seconds, when they've landed on your page, send them a little pop-up. Or when they've scrolled a certain amount as well. And you can stack these on top of each other. So we're going to keep it super simple for the sake of this. Let's uncheck all of those boxes. We're just going to say, show it to them immediately. So they land on your page, they get to see the sign-up form. So for frequency, this is how often you show this form to your customers, because obviously you don't want to be showing them the form every single time they return to your page. They might visit it once, they might go away for a couple of hours, they might come back, and you don't want to be constantly bombarding them with this form. So you can basically say that once the visitor has used the X to close the form, show it to them again after 2 days or 5 days or 10 days. It's completely up to you. And you can also prevent the form from being shown multiple times when someone's actually submitted it, which would also be super annoying, by checking this box here. So this says, don't show them again if the form was submitted. We've already got you to sign up on email or WhatsApp or whatever the channel is. You're good. Keep shopping. We're not going to keep bombarding you with sign up and get 10% off offers because we know you've already signed up. Now let's take a look at the targeting tab. So the targeting tab helps you to display it on a specific part of your website. So you might want it across all of your website, which is absolutely fine, or you might want it on specific pages. So for example, you might create a sign-up form for a specific type of product and a different sign-up form for a different type of product and have them displaying on the relevant pages. So here you have allowed domains, which is for the entirety of the site or the Shopify store that you want it to display on. And then page paths is where you get to narrow it down to specific pages. So if we were displaying this on Bird, for example, you might want to display it on bird.com, or you might want to display it on bird.com/blog, and then it would only appear on the blog page. You can also adjust whether or not you show this by location. So you might want to set up a specific form for customers who are in the UK and then a different form for customers who are in the Netherlands. And that's where you can do that down here by selecting show visitors in these locations and then don't show visitors in these locations. So you can both include and exclude people. Right, so we've set up our display, we've set up our targeting, our form is still missing a few elements, so let's head on back and see what else we can add. Now we have the languages section. And if you'll remember, during the setup, this is where we chose our default language. So we picked this as English. Now you can add support for additional languages in your template, and your users will be able to decide which language they view a sign-up form in. So down here, you can click Add New Language. You can choose from the drop-down. So let's go with... So let's go with Dutch. Here we go. And now you can see that you can toggle between the English version and the Dutch version. Now you have to go in and customize the language yourself. That's absolutely fine. You could customize the language, the style, any images you've added so that the Dutch people get a picture of Amsterdam and the English visitors get a image of London, for example. Heading on back here, there's still more that we can add. So down in the content section is where you can really start to design all of the different elements of your form. So let's say we want to add an image. You click here, you can add a URL or you can upload an image if you have a file on your device already. So let's see what that looks like. Great, now I've added an image of some gifts. This is where you can also add your alt text. So this is a description for usability that explains exactly what the image looks like. So you can say, okay, and now I can choose the position of the image. So I could put it on the right hand side, I could put it above, but that doesn't really look like right with the formatting of the image we've chosen. So let's stick with having it on the left. You can also change the alignment as well, but that's usually for larger images or different styles of sign up form. Okay, so we've got images done. Heading on back, what else have we got to change? Now we can get into the copy. So luckily the heading for this already says what we want it to. Sign up and get 10% off. Fantastic. But let's change what the body copy says. So in here, I've just added that it's a little bit more specific. Sign up and get 10% off, and it's 10% off your next order. Heading back here, this is where you can customize the disclosure. So this is where you tell people what they're signing up for, how you're going to process their data. It'll depend on the exact country that you're setting up the sign up form for. For example, GDPR in the UK, customers need to give a sort of explicit consent to opt in to receive marketing materials from you. So in the disclosure, check with your legal team, find out what exactly you need to put in here. You can also change the text color of it as well. Down here in the footer, this is where you have whether it's powered by Bird or not. You can toggle it on or off because let's say we're making this for a Bird website. We're going to make sure that we have Bird written down there in the bottom. Now, if you notice, we're missing something really significant from the sign up form, and that is a way to actually get customers to sign up. So let's start to add our channels. Now, before you can add these channels, you need to make sure that you've got the channels installed on your workspace. So if you want them to sign up through WhatsApp, make sure you've got a WhatsApp channel installed. Same for email, same for SMS. Okay, we're starting off with email. We've chosen which one of our email channels we want them to subscribe to. A button label, email, you could maybe change it to sign up with email. Completely up to you. So there's two options here. So message to sign up essentially means that when they click the button, they'll be provided with a QR code and they can use their mobile phone device to scan this QR code and they'll receive a pre-filled message and the user can send that message and that is how they'll opt in. Now the other option is to provide them with a form to sign up. So this looks a little bit different. With this, there's a little description that just explains, we'll add you to the sign up list, and then they'll need to enter their email address to be able to sign up. And down here is where you select the list that you want them to sign up to. So you've got high value customers, email form subscriber, WhatsApp form subscribers, whichever list you have, we're going to say that this is specifically for high value customers. So that once they've submitted their email address, they'll automatically be signed up to the high value customers list. And then we can target them again specifically in the future. Down here is when you can play around with your styling. Again, you can play around with a bunch of different colors here. You can even pick one from the web page. So let's say I want it to be in the same purple that I've chosen here. Lovely stuff. Now let's head on back and add the rest of our channels as well. So we have email button, we have WhatsApp button. We're going to go in and add an SMS one as well. So the great thing about this is that you can give your customers different options when it comes to the channels that they sign up on. Configure them all the same way that you set up the email one, or you can set it up different ways depending on how you prefer them to sign up for each channel. And now our sign up form is looking a lot more like a sign up form. So the final thing that we have to adjust is the launcher. So this is the button that customers can click to open up or close down your form. So that's what it looks like when it's minimized at the moment. We just have launch and we've got some sort of pretty ordinary color and text going on, but let's say we wanted to make that nice bright purple text again, and we're going to choose sort of something like this, a pale blue for the pale blue for the background. There we go. Now let's change this to, there we go, want 10% off. That's a better CTA. And now what happens is they'll click on it and it will launch their form for them. And they'll close it and it goes back to this again. And you can choose if the launcher displays a close button or not. So here we have it. This is our form. It's set up to collect subscriptions on email, on WhatsApp, on SMS, and all we need to do now is publish it. So head on up here, click publish, and because we selected a Shopify store, it'll automatically be displayed over on that Shopify store when you click publish. Now, if you wanted to set it up on a website that's not Shopify instead, you would need to use the code snippet, you would need access to your website settings, and you need to go in and drop it into there.